10 prostitutes had been murdered in America and Austria. The police were convinced that the same killer was responsible, an Austrian journalist who had spent time in Los Angeles. Jack Unterweger had no alibi. He had been in Vorarlberg, Graz, and Vienna when each of the prostitutes had gone missing. But the lack of alibi was circumstantial evidence. It didn't prove he was the killer. There was nothing to connect him to a victim. Only one piece of forensic evidence had been found: the red fibers on Heidi Hammerer, the first prostitute strangled in Vorarlberg. Did Unterweger own anything that matched those fibers?
Yes! 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 You are under arrest! Came out my ass. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Do you understand these rights that they have been read to you? Fuck you! Yes!
Deputy Bledsoe was a 12-year veteran who often mans the booking counter, the first stop for intake and processing for all arrestees. Bledsoe's learned to expect anything.
Oh no, every night's different. You can't predict at the beginning of the shift how the night's going to go. I mean, we could use as a force, it could be a quiet night, we have no problems, and then sometimes we have to fill all these cells up back here.
Bledsoe will routinely see 100 individuals pass through here on a single day. This county jail is one of the busiest in the country, booking 45,000 people a year.
Just put your hands on the end of the counter, walk your feet back to the end of the mat, and spread them out.
Samuel Renner limped to the stand, accused of shooting 41-year-old Todd Calise early Thursday morning. Calise was later pronounced dead at Wyoming Medical Center. Renner faces 10 felony counts, which include first-degree murder and attempted murder, as well as several counts of aggravated assault.
Defense attorneys for suspected theater shooter James Holmes gave no objection to Monday's preliminary hearing, where the judge will determine if the prosecution has enough evidence to put Holmes on trial.
It's sort of a dry run, and they put on some of their witnesses and some of their evidence, and the public finds out more detail.
Attorney Dan Recht, who's tracking the case, tells us even though the preliminary hearing will likely send Holmes to trial, it allows the defense to get information they otherwise haven't been able to.
Prosecution witnesses do not have to talk to the defense at other times, and so this might be their only opportunity to talk to these witnesses.
On April 5th, 1998, our community was shaken by the murder of 22-year-old Kaylin Jackson. 15 years later, I am pleased to announce that an Ada County grand jury has returned an indictment charging Patrick John Zacharias with Kaylin's rape and first-degree murder, bringing Kaylin's family one step closer to justice.
If you have been served with a grand jury subpoena and you're going to be testifying before a grand jury, you're probably wondering what happens in a grand jury. It's an odd kind of proceeding, and so I'd like to talk just a little bit about what happens inside the grand jury. First, when you go into the grand jury room, you should know it's not like a normal courtroom. There's no judge there. The people who will be in the room will be you, if you're a witness in a grand jury proceeding. There'll be the prosecutor who will be asking you questions. There'll be a court reporter there, and then there will be a number of grand jurors, including a grand jury foreperson. There will be between 16 and 23 grand jurors who will be sitting and they'll be listening. These are folks who got a summons for grand jury service, just like how someone can get a summons for jury service. What'll happen is you'll go in, you'll be sworn in, and you'll take an oath to tell the truth. And the prosecutor will ask questions. Your defense lawyer is not allowed to be there. At the same time, if there's a defense lawyer for somebody who's under investigation, that person won't be allowed to be there either. The only people in the room are you, the court reporter, the prosecutor, and the grand jurors. Everyone in the grand jury room is sworn to secrecy except for the witness. So the grand jurors can't tell anybody what happened. The court reporter can't let the transcript just go out willy-nilly, and the prosecutor can't tell anybody what somebody said in the grand jury. The only person who has the ability to share what happened in the grand jury is the witness. So if you're going into the grand jury, the only person who can share what you said is you.
Aaron Hernandez on indictment 2013-983-2, charging you with unlawful possession of a firearm, not a home at work. How do you plead? Not guilty. Indictment 2013-983-3, charging you with unlawful possession of a rifle without an FID card. How do you plead? Not guilty. Indictment 2013-983-4, charging you with unlawful possession of a large capacity weapon or large capacity feeding device. How do you plead? Not guilty. Indictment 2013-983-5, charging you with unlawful possession of ammunition without an FID card. How do you plead? Not guilty. Indictment 2013-983-6, charging you with unlawful possession of ammunition without an FID card. How do you plead? Not guilty.
All right, then, counsel. Understanding that there's been an agreement, there's not a necessity to go into the background or any statement of facts here. Isn't that right, Mr. McCauley? That's correct, Your Honor. All right. All right. October 9th, Mr. Hernandez. See you then.
Mr. Tipton, when you viewed the defendants walking from their car into the sack of suds, what angle was your point of view?
They was kind of walking toward me when they entered the store.
And when they left, what angle was your point of view?
They was kind of walking away from me.
Mr. Griffin, I think your words have touched us all. I'm sentencing you to 24 months in prison.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no!